Okay, so let's get right to it. AI can write code in, like, seconds. So the huge question that's on everybody's mind is, should kids, or anyone really, still bother learning how to code? Let's break it down. I mean, this is the anxiety, right? You hear these stories, you type a simple sentence, and an AI spits out an entire app, and you start to wonder, what's the future for human programmers? Are we teaching our kids a skill that's about to go extinct? And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi future. This is happening right now. This quote is from a real developer on Reddit who was pulling their hair out over a bug for hours. They finally just gave the problem to an AI, and bam, it fixed it. Not just fixed it, but made the code better. That kind of power is exactly why we need to talk about this.
So what's really happening here? Is it just game over for human coders? Well, not exactly. It's not so much about being replaced, it's more about the job itself completely transforming. And to really get it, we need a new way to think about this whole thing.
And this is the perfect analogy. Think of it like a master architect teaming up with a super-powered apprentice. The human, that's the architect. They've got the vision, they see the big picture, they know what needs to be built and why. The AI, that's the apprentice. It's unbelievably fast. It can churn out work like you wouldn't believe. But it doesn't have the experience or the judgment of the master.
Okay, so let's put these two in the ring, not to fight, but to see what they're each good at. First up, let's talk about the strengths of this incredible new AI apprentice.
You just can't deny the AI's strengths here. I'm talking about superhuman speed. All that boring, repetitive stuff, writing the same setup code over and over, doing tedious unit tests, the AI just eats it for breakfast. It does it at a speed that no human could ever match. It basically frees up the human from the grunt work.
And this isn't just a tiny change, folks. We're talking about a massive shift. Get this, AI assistants are already writing nearly half of all new code, 46%. That apprentice is working overtime. So that brings up the big question, right? If the AI is doing almost half the work, what's left for us humans to do?
And this is where the master architect steps in. Because while that AI apprentice is super fast, it turns out its work, well, it's not perfect. In fact, research is showing it has some pretty serious hidden flaws.
Yeah, this table lays it out perfectly. When researchers actually compared AI-generated code to human-written code, they found that, sure, the AI's code, it functions, it runs, but it's often way more complex, a real mess to maintain down the line. And security? Big yikes. The human architect is playing chess, not checkers. They're thinking about the whole system, the long-term health, and making sure it's secure and built to last.
Let's drill down into these risks because they are serious. First, the AI code is often super complex, what they call high cognitive complexity. That's just a fancy way of saying it's a nightmare for another human to try and fix later. Even worse, it makes huge security mistakes. I'm talking about things like literally writing passwords directly into the code, a massive no-no. Plus, since it can't see the big picture, it just cranks out tons of extra, unneeded code that bloats the whole project. So yeah, the apprentice is fast, but it's also really messy and kind of reckless. And this visual explains the new division of labor perfectly. See that stuff in the bottom left? The routine, predictable tasks? That's the AI's new job. It can automate all of that. And what does that do? It frees up the human, the architect, to focus on the really important stuff up here in the top right. We're talking about the complex, creative, strategic problem-solving that only a human can do.
So you see, it's not a showdown. It's not AI versus human. The real future is AI times humans. It's a team-up, a collaboration that's going to let us build amazing things way faster than we ever could before.
So how does this actually work day to day? Well, it's a new kind of workflow. Step 1, the human architect lays out the plan, the strategy. Step 2, the AI apprentice jumps in and generates that first draft of code in a flash. But step 3 is the most important part. The human architect comes back in to review, to refine, to fix the security holes, and to make it great. It's this powerful cycle of human vision guiding AI execution.
But does this new team-up actually, work? The answer is a resounding yes. Just look at the data. When they surveyed professional developers, almost all of them said they expect a huge productivity boost from using AI. We're talking 20, 30, even over 50% increases. That's a game changer.
Okay, so this all brings us back to our original question, the most important one. If this is the new way of doing things, what skills do we actually need to be teaching our kids? What does the coder of tomorrow need to know?
And this chart, this says it all. Look at the skills that are becoming less important, the ones pointing down. It's basic programming, just memorizing commands and syntax. But look at what's shooting up. It's the big brain stuff, critical thinking, problem solving, understanding the entire system.
So, the coder's toolkit of the future is way less about your typing speed and way more about your thinking speed. It's about being able to look at a hard problem and come up with a creative solution. It's about thinking about security and ethics from the start. And yeah, there's a totally new skill in the mix. Some people are calling it AI-fu. It's basically the art of knowing how to talk to the AI, how to guide it to get the results you actually want.
So in the end, the question isn't really should we still learn to code? The real question is, how can we learn to build amazing things with AI? Because learning the fundamentals of coding is more crucial than ever. It's just that now it's not about being a bricklayer. It's about being the architect who tells a team of super fast robot bricklayers what to build. That is the skill of the future.